What's goody YTBC? What's good, fight fans, boxing heads around the world? B Marsh with another boxing video. So this goes down as another one of those controversial fights, you know what I mean? Controversial decisions. And this fight in particular is Mr. 505, Mi Vida Loca, the babyface assassin, Johnny Tapia. And he was fighting his rival, Paulie Ayala, you know what I'm saying? And this was definitely the rematch, you know what I mean? They had fought the first time they fought, and that was a controversial decision, in my opinion. And a lot of people's opinions. Go back and watch these fights, and definitely this one right here. This one takes the cake, man. This particular fight right here takes the cake, you know what I mean? Alright, so Johnny Tapia was a guy. How'd these guys get here? Johnny Tapia, like I said, they had fought. This was the rematch, you know what I mean? They had fought before. A controversial decision won by a unanimous decision won by Paulie Ayala, you know what I'm saying? And that was, I believe, in 1999. And the rematch right here was in the year 2000, you know what I'm saying? It was probably like a year later, you know? And the first fight when they fought was Johnny Tapia was a what? He was a two-division champion, three-time world champion, two different divisions. You know what I mean? And that first fight they fought was for Johnny Tapia's WBA bantamweight strap. You know what I mean? But I believe in this second fight they weren't fighting at bantamweight, and I don't think any strap was on the line. You know what I mean? And at this particular, I think this particular fight was even at a catchweight. The second fight, you know what I mean? Was a catchweight of 124 pounds, and Johnny Tapia was moving up, and both of these guys had never fought at. This was the highest weight that they'd ever fought at. You know what I'm saying, in this rematch. You know what I'm saying. So, I say in round one, you know what I'm saying, I mean, the man Johnny Tapia, man, he was killing the man Paulie Ayala with a variety of punches, you know what I'm saying. He was throwing the more effective punches, you know what I mean, straight rights. He was throwing jabs, uppercuts, you know what I'm saying, and hooks. He was definitely showing his whole arsenal. He displayed it in that first round, you know what I'm saying. Round two, the man Paulie Ayala was definitely throwing harder punches, man. You know what I'm saying? That man Paulie Ayala was throwing the harder punches. And, the slugging style definitely favored the man Paulie Ayala. You know what I'm saying? Just like in the very first fight, the man Johnny Tapia, in my opinion, is a way better boxer than the man Paulie Ayala was. You know what I'm saying? And, in the very first fight, Johnny Tapia, he ain't boxed enough, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I thought the fight was, the judges saw the fight a little closer than I had expected, but the first fight, Johnny Tapia was drawn into a slugfest by the man, what's his name? Paulie Ayala, you know what I'm saying? So in that round two, it definitely favored Paulie Ayala. The man Paulie Ayala, in my opinion, was a guy who, he was a flat-footed guy. You know what I'm saying? He ain't have better movement than the man Johnny Tapia. Definitely the hand speed favored Johnny Tapia. You know what I'm saying? So in that particular first fight, I thought the man Johnny Tapia in spurts and in many rounds he fought a dumb fight, but I thought he won the very first fight. You know what I mean? Despite the judges giving the man Paulie Ayala the unanimous decision. You know what I'm saying? So round three, the man Johnny Tapia, man, he's boxing. He has good defense. Paulie Ayala is missing 1,000,001 shots. And he's definitely missed more shots by the third round in the second fight than he did in the whole of the very first fight. You know what I'm saying? He probably missed more punches in this rematch fight with Johnny Tapia than he did his whole career. You know what I'm saying? The man Johnny Tapia displayed excellent foot movement, great head movement. His reflexes were on point. And this was like a year later after their first fight. You know what I'm saying? And Johnny Tapia, in my opinion, in round three, man, he was making Ayala miss with a lot of shots. Paulie Ayala hit him occasionally, you know what I'm saying? But that was definitely a Johnny Tapia round, you know what I mean? It's round four, same way. Tapia's throwing uppercuts. He has good defense. He's fighting on the back foot. You know what I'm saying? He's just putting on a boxing clinic in there, Occasionally he will get hit, but he's not getting hit as much as he's hitting the man Paulie Ayala, you know what I mean? Round five, the man Johnny Tapia is ripping the man with vicious body shots, you know what I'm saying? You know, the man Paulie Ayala, like I said, is a flat-footed guy, man. And the man Johnny Tapia is looking real comfortable in the ring, throwing his counter shots, you know what I'm saying, flurries, displaying his hand speed, you know. And the man Paulie Ayala was a southpaw, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing. And the man, I'm sorry, Johnny Tapia, in the very first fight they fought, I recall the man was definitely switching stances, you know what I'm saying, trying to confuse the man. But in the second fight, Johnny Tapia ain't switched to southpaw really that much. He maybe did it once, maybe twice, as opposed to the very first fight where he was giving the man, Paulie Ayala, different looks, you know what I mean? Um, Round six, Tapia schooling Paulie Ayala. You know what I'm saying? Counter punching, great reflexes. He's on his stick and move. He's throwing combos and flurries in there. You know, the man Johnny Tapia was a crowd pleaser. You should already know that. Every time he was in his corner, every time, you know, and he's getting his water, you know, getting instructions from his trainers, he would always have a comment, and he'd always leave a comment for the cameraman who was all up in their face, you know. He would scream back to, you know, like he'd say, Albuquerque, I love you. Or he'd say, Albuquerque, I'm still your champion. You know, he's a funny guy, man. He was a crowd pleaser. You know, he's a kind of guy who would also like doing bolo shots. Man, Johnny Tapia was my guy back in the mid '90s, the mid '90s, early 2000s, all the way to the mid 2000s. You know what I mean? I always rooted for Johnny Tapia because he was a guy who wasn't afraid of anything. He'd been through so much in his life. A freaking boxing fight was nothing to him. Actually, that's where he looked more comfortable on this planet. He was comfortable. That was his safe haven when he was in the ring. You know what I'm saying? All right, so round seven or nine, you know, it's just the same old routine, giving the man a boxing lesson. You know, Tapia is, but Tapia gets tagged with a straight left in that round. You know what I'm saying? But the man Johnny Tapia in this second fight, I'll definitely give him more credit for definitely being more accurate with his punches than he did in the very first fight they fought with Paulie Ayala. You know what I'm saying? He was on cruise control for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Um, round 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 what? Round eight. Round eight. You know the man was Paulie Ayala. What happened in round eight? Round eight, yeah. Paulie Ayala caught the man Johnny Tapia with some straight lefts. You know what I'm saying? And he drew the man Johnny Tapia into a little slugfest. You know what I mean? Um, because that was the way Johnny Tapia looked like maybe he was gassing out a little bit because now he had his hands below his waist. You know what I'm saying? But he got tagged with a couple straight lefts and a couple uppercuts. You know what I mean? But he was still throwing his combos in there. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, I also thought the man Paulie Ayala, he was, in the very first fight they fought, he was hitting a lot harder than he was in the second fight. I think he had more testosterone in the first fight. You know what I'm saying? Because if I remember the very first fight they fought, even before the bell rang, the man Johnny Tapia walked up to Paulie Ayala and shoved that man. You know what I mean? He gave him a little push before the bell rang, and I'm sure that irritated Paulie Ayala. So he definitely had more testosterone and more reason to go out there and give his all in the very first fight. You know what I'm saying? Um, Round 10, the man Johnny Tapia wasn't boxing really. His hands is low. Paulie Ayala's tagging him, you know what I'm saying? He's giving him some left hooks, you know what I'm saying? And, some straight left hands, you know what I mean? He's being the aggressor in that particular round, you know what I mean? He even got Johnny Tapia's nose bleeding in round 10, you know what I mean? You check it, what happened? Round 11. Round 11 was a swing round, you know what I'm saying? Paulie Ayala, of course, is not trying to got fighting with a sense of urgency. He's trying to step on the gas, you know what I'm saying? But the man, Johnny Tapia, is outboxing him still, you know what I'm saying? He's still hitting him with combos, flurries. He's sidestepping the man, you know what I'm saying? Johnny Tapia was fighting a good fight, man, for the most part. He was in cruise control, you know what I'm saying? And then round 12, excuse me, round 12, the man Paulie Ayala wasn't really fighting with a sense of urgency like he did in round 12, you know what I'm saying? That man Johnny Tapia was the aggressor, you know what I'm saying? He was hitting the man with more shots. Paulie Ayala for a little, he did trade with Johnny Tapia for a little bit in that round 12, but it wasn't enough for me to give him the round, you know what I mean? And in this particular fight, I had the man Johnny Tapia winning this fight comfortably, man. 9 rounds to 3, 117 to 100 and what was it? 117 to 109. You know what I'm saying? The man Johnny Tapia was doing this thing. He only rounds I could give Paulie Ayala was round two, round two, and I believe round 10 and round 11. You know what I'm saying? Those are the only rounds I could give him, man. But unfortunately for Johnny Tapia, it happened again. The second time, he got robbed in this fight. You know what I mean? The judges gave the unanimous decision. They gave the unanimous decision to Paulie Ayala. Could you believe that, ladies and gents, boxing heads and fight fans around the world? That really irked me, and this is one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in boxing. Up to this day, man, I think the man Johnny Tapia, I think he ended his career with maybe 5 losses. You know what I'm saying? To me, he should only have 3 losses. You know what I'm saying? He lost to Barrera too. You know what I'm saying? He lost to Barrera, but that was I think it was at featherweight. And you know, the man was definitely not the same fighter he was. He was an older guy, and you know, he wasn't quite as fast and nimble as he used to be in his bantamweights or super flyweights. You know what I mean? But you know, in my opinion, he should only have 3 losses in his career. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I believe he should be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? The man Johnny Tapia is a guy who's what is he? A 5-time world champion. You know what I'm saying? In what? 3 different divisions. He's been a champion at featherweight, bantamweight, and super flyweight. You know what I mean? So, you know, the man Johnny Tapia, in my opinion, he got robbed in this fight. A lot of people think this fight was a robbery. And Paulie Ayala was a guy who got a lot of gifts in his career and gift decisions. And that's why I'm glad, you know, the guys like, you know, people like Eric Morales and Barrera, I couldn't wait for those fights to happen back in the day. And they got the man Paulie Ayala, you know what I'm saying? Sound like I might be a hater of Paulie Ayala. But, you know, the man Johnny Tapia was my guy, and he ain't deserved to get robbed like that. You know, the other already took 3 years out of his career, you know, from his substance abuse troubles, you know what I'm saying? He had 3.5 years out of the ring, and to become a world champion and, you know, to become Albuquerque's favorite son, Mr. 505, to get robbed the way he did, I thought it was despicable, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's my video on this particular fight, man. You know, the man... Johnny Tapia got robbed. I thought he got, you know, the very first fight, I could see maybe a draw or Johnny Tapia winning the first fight 7-5, but there's no way Paulie Ayala won the first fight. And the second fight, he damn sure ain't win it, you know what I mean? So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about this video. And if you've seen, there go Big David Tour, man. David Tour when he had hair, you know what I'm saying? Who that? Ken Norton, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Sugar Ray and Tommy Hearns. You check it. But yeah, you know, let me know what you guys think about this decision, man. Johnny Tapia getting robbed. And there's nobody on this planet who could tell me the man Johnny Tapia lost this fight. And nobody could tell me Paulie Ayala won it, man. That's out of the question. So let me know in the comment section what you think about this particular fight. And let me know who you guys won, and let me know how you guys scored it, man. And if you like the video, hit that thumbs up, and please subscribe. B Marsh Boxing. And again, thanks for listening. Peace. I'm going to catch y'all on the next video.